And welcome everybody to our Daily Gun Show. Coming to be live every weeknight at midnight Eastern, approximately, and talk about guns. So we've got a couple people got links out there tonight. We'll see if anybody joins in, but we'll see who else shows up and we'll see what kind of direction we take in tonight. Sitting here sleeping and decided, oh wait a minute, we could still do this show, huh? So figured I'd go live here. What is this subcomment to? Oh, okay. People don't like the key cutting machine video today, I guess. So, I will quit paying attention to that screen, and I'll go over here. I'm not going to play any music. Just listening to the playback. I don't think people listen to their own playbacks very often enough. I don't, because it sounded like shit with that music playing in the background, so I'm not playing that music anymore. But that makes it boring for me here, so I don't know if I'll take it that long. Let's see, what was I going to work on? I'm going to work on something over here. Oh, I guess I'll do it that way. So why don't we do that? Why don't we open up this thing and go to this. I'll flip over to this. All right. And dig into the Instagram side there. What is this? Oh, messages. Let's see. I figured I'd look for a picture of a gun. Draw a picture of a gun here. What the hell is this picture? Found some baby raccoons at work today. Huh. Very neat. Claims that those are two does fighting. It's kind of a nice pic. Some good angle. It's got a sling. That's in the running. So how do I do this? Open this in a new window. Open this in a new tab. And then just keep scrolling. What's up with this? She's putting some kind of buttons on them. I wonder what that's all about. Huh. It's for the kiddos. So I don't know how they're gonna attach those. That will be interesting. I don't know what that's supposed to be. What's all this about? Man, I like that shit. Dinners has some dies out there. This would be an okay one, but it's 9 and it's fake. Oh yeah, today's the anniversary 50 years ago of the Apollo 13 situation. That'd probably be a good movie to watch today. I was thinking about doing this one. I saw that one earlier. Old MP5. Back when 9mm would have been appropriate. When there was at that point yet no other option. I did talk to John Wiseman, and he said it's good. I could take his pictures and cartoon them, no problem. Oh yeah, this is horrible. Sitting here by myself with no music on. This is super boring. So I thought this one was pretty good. And I almost put it up on my feed. However, it's red. And I wish it would have been in blue. That I would have put it on my feed. This is pretty neat. I don't know what I feel about putting these things in plastic because I really like how they are by themselves. So by putting them in plastic, you lose a lot of stuff, I think. But there's something to be said for having it right there with the real one. Pretty cool. The obvious question is have both. Or answer, I guess. Well, this is the worst day ever for trying to find a picture, I guess. I was thinking about buying some of these things. Heard about those mushrooms way before this whole garbage came around back in the day. That this is pretty interesting. But this social media rally that's coming up on the 18th and 19th. So she reposted this, but I don't know who she reposted it from. My reps, Data Made US. Here's a few sites that are local effects. Sorry. Yeah, I've got to figure out more about that. Maybe have him on as a guest or something sometime.
Hey everybody, it's Liv here. I want to invite you to take part in the second 2A.
Hmm.
Hey everybody, it's Liv here. I want to invite you to take part in the second 2A social media rally on April 18th and 19th, 2020. So it just so happens to be that those 2 days are the 245th anniversary of the Midnight Ride and the battles of Lexington and Concord. So on those days, we're going to flood our elected employees' emails, phone lines, social media accounts, pro Second Amendment messages, letting them know that we're tired of the infringement and that our right to keep and bear arms is non-negotiable. So, if you want to take part in it,
I should have left it play.
hey everybody.
Yeah, it's gonna go from the beginning now. So yeah, I'm not sure. I guess it's just to contact representatives. I guess that's an effort. This guy's a big fan of Haley, I guess. I didn't know that Rally for Our Rights has a store. So how do I find out more about that? I guess I'll dig into that. HBS is out there. Snobs out there. Evening. Good evening. Let's go to this website. Find out what this is all about. Nonpartisan, blah, blah, blah. Subscribe to our list, connect on social media, contact. No, like, actual physical address. Oh, Johnston, Colorado. Interesting. So that makes me want to go over to Minuteman and find Rally for Your Rights. in the list. And make sure that I know it's, oh, I guess I do know it's in Colorado. Okay. So it began on April 8th of 2018. And now they have a store over here. So let's go to the store and see what they got going on. So they got a bunch of merchandise gear, or whatever they call that, logo crap, or logo merchandise. And then now they have face masks. So who's making face masks that quick? Or were they already making these things? $20. So that seems like a pretty good deal. Non-branded masks cost like $1. So you can get these things for $1 and sell them for 20 as a fundraiser. It might be an alternative to a patch or something. Or an alternative to a t-shirt. I don't think people will keep wearing these things, but this one's all right. I don't mind this one at all because it's interesting or whatever. And I guess that one would be similar, but it's not as good. See, this one, the thing is incorporated into it. What's up with this one? No, see, this is just a print of it on there. Is that how bad this one is? And I just don't see it. No, see, this doesn't have like a bunch of garbage. This is just a print laying on top of a Hawaiian print. I mean, it's cheesy. All they do is take a Hawaiian print and lay a AR on top of it. But at least they didn't put it in a circle like this one. Inside of a circle with a logo. That's just repeating their logo on a pattern. That's kind of boring. This is almost incorporating it into the pattern. Anyway, it looks like they've obviously figured out some way to get these face masks made. Their own things on them. So I guess that's a thing. So that's if you're looking for a mask, you can. I wonder if they're making them themselves. It almost looks sewn. The ones I've seen look like they come out of a machine for $1. Like they just get popped out of a machine and kind of probably steam riveted or whatever it's called with fabric. Well, let's see if anybody said anything to my comment over here. No. 5 hours. Nobody's even liked it. So there you go. It's easier to just hate somebody and not think about it. But basically ask what happens to the 3 museums full of guns when everybody lets the NRA go. Which is my usual question when people start saying the NRA, just be let go. A bunch of mushrooms over at the 99-cent store. I haven't eaten any yet, but I bought like 3 different kinds. 4 different kinds? 4 different kinds. Got some new stickers over there. Got those in yesterday. Well, they came in Saturday. I picked them up today. Those will be going out with, maybe, who knows what those will be going out with. Going out with something. So why can't I find any pictures of guns? What's up with that? It's like pictures of everything except for guns. I'm sick of even wiggling my finger. So now I'm just letting the thing scroll and we'll find a picture at some point. Or we'll just start using that carbine over there. So this is just so we can technically say we've been live every day, but doesn't look like we're getting a heck of a lot of participation tonight. Never know. Some nights, big crazy participation. Some nights, might as well just not even gone live. So I think I'll for now take this picture somehow. The easiest way with Instagram is to just print screen it. Come over here. I'm just going to stick it in a new one. I'll put DGS. Open. All right, and then we can paste that layer. There's all the stuff going on that screen. There's all the stuff going on the screen that you can see. And then we'll crop that down. going to do it this way today. Go into like there-ish. There we go. And take that up there. Set again. Oops. And fade that out. And I guess I'm doing the bottom one. And a couple of other layers over here. Give this thing a M1. I'm guessing it's on an M2. Costs of one. Oh crap. M1. How about that? And then C. And oops. All right. Tumbleweeds roll by. Yeah, seriously, this is a boring one today. Well, whatever. Certainly doesn't say daily excitement show. It just says daily gun show. Sometimes gun shows are boring. Every once in a while, occasionally, once in a blue moon, a gun show is boring. So it's very much like that. Justin's showing up. So we've just been sitting here trying to get the show going. Nobody's been around. Sent out some links today. So whenever I send out links, I figure I might as well sit around for a little while. Let people take advantage of them. But tonight, I don't know how long we've been going. 17 minutes? I guess it's not that long. It just seems like 17 hours. Like it says, time has no. I name this thing something like time is an illusion, right? It's because I don't even know what time it is anymore. I just wake sometimes, sleep sometimes. But I tell you what, this is super boring without even having my elevator music going. This is like, I'm not saying it's torture, it's just boring. Are we saying nothing over here? Oh, HBS said something. It's way easier when I got somebody in here to talk to, though. I'm not going to go over. It's like having to read an anime movie. Ordered micro Roni stabilizer waiting for delivery. Okay. Let's see. Click. And click over here. I was almost interested in one of those things. I'm trying to remember when the first year we seen them. I think it was 2008 when those came out. It might have been in Florida, but it wasn't. It was at the old convention center. And they had pretty mixed reactions. Most people don't and still didn't then and still don't see a need for a pistol caliber carbine. And that thing is sort of in between, right? It's not really a carbine. But did it come out? No, it came out a couple years after the corner shot. But I think everybody gave it about as much regard as they would give the corner shot at the time. And it was put out by, what's the name of that company? They were not necessarily got a big reputation or great reputation, so it's not like they were known for putting out good stuff. They were just putting out plastic accessories all the time. They made improvements over time. Oh, for sure. That first one was just a proof of concept almost. Although, I mean, it still worked. It was definitely a neat concept or whatever. If there were no laws, like stupid FA laws, I mean, I would definitely own one for sure. I just don't think I'd give it any, I'm still not going to give it any credibility for being useful for anything. Things don't have to be useful. I'm not saying they have to be useful, but that thing. It might be fun for going around shooting Plinkin and stuff like that, playing around. And now that they make them for other guns, that's kind of neat. It'd be neat if they could make something that, I wonder if they could make one that would fit with multiple guns. If anybody's ever thought about trying that. You know, that would just work with a semi, although that might make it real crappier than it already is, or enhance some of the weaknesses on it. I don't remember if HVS has a, what are the things called? Chris? Would you get a Chris or a Roni? Or would you get a Chris Roni? Chris Roni is a San Francisco treat, if you don't know what that is. I don't know if I like those two little bumps I just put in there. I might remove them. I might go back and remove those later. You're saying you'd rather have a Tavor over what you just bought and or a no. Said it, I can't remember it. That's how you know you're getting old. When you're talking to some old guy and then you go to say something that you just said like a minute ago, and now you can't even think of the word that you just said a minute ago. Maybe there's like a chemical leak and I don't know it. I can't think of what I just said. I can see it. Chris, holy moly. It took me like an hour to come up with Chris. Maybe I got the corona and I don't know it. Maybe that's the reason nobody's showing up. I'm just going through the motions. I'm a ghost over here. I haven't gone out in a week. Maybe I am dead. I'm doing a show, but the only people that can tune it in are other dead people. Like Beetlejuice version of a podcast. So nobody likes my Instagram posts either. I explain a lot of things. Shit. I guess I could just scroll over instead of guessing what the stock's going to look like over there. Ugh. That is not a carbine stock. I'll fix it. I don't know if I put too few dots in there or not. Let's see, the back advantage of a Roni is if you're not much good with pistols, you can improve accuracy. I don't believe it. Maybe it's just a lack of bacon and donuts. That's a good point. I should hand out more bacon and donuts for the show. Have like a bacon and donut buffet. That would be pretty handy. Now, how am I going to do? Oh, this is the one I did. So I need to pull this one in a bunch, and then pull this one out a bunch. I guess I'll deal with that. I'll like that one enough. And then I can make a little thingy on here and make it like this, and even more so. Oops. Like that. Oh yeah, see what I'm talking about? Hey, since HVS is out there, and I don't want to put you on the spot because I know how it is when you lose your memory when you're old. But if you can remember back to when you lived in LA, you don't have to get too specific, but what part of the town did you live in? I've been listening to stuff on the radio. I could say I don't remember time anymore. In the before time, I would have been able to tell you like a day or an hour or something when this happened, but that's all lost its meaning to me. So at some time in the now, I was listening to the radio, and they were talking about how Vegas is empty. Like everybody in Vegas is all sad. So because they have never seen it empty like this before, lights turned off and stuff. And that got me thinking about how cool it would be to go drive around, see how things are like this, because this is unprecedented, interesting times, right? Like there's never been like this before. So I started thinking about LA also, like how cool it would have been. Like you could go to LA right now, and it would be like Night of the Comet, right? Like you could, drive around, shoot newsies, or I guess Mac 10s at abandoned cars, and no one's even going to give a shit except for a couple of zombies running around trying to eat you or whatever. Anyway, I was just curious what part of the town you lived in, because I've been thinking about driving over to LA. Where would we go? Malibu? Oh, right on. Yeah, that's my favorite part. I don't know what that means. What does that mean? Santa Fe? Bajo? Oh, you grew up in the Vatos of Santa Fe, New Mexico. Makes a lot of sense. You had a hard life. Yeah, I was just watching a cool channel. I think I've mentioned before that I'm thinking with the logarithms on YouTube. So now I've been watching, I let it feed me a bunch of airplane stuff. So I've actually watched a bunch of airplane stuff because it's interesting. But it fed me, I guess it's just a bunch of, I guess the best way to describe it is like video or movie extras. Like, so sometimes it's just simply what's on the DVD extras, but then it's also like channels that are interviews, like just channels that will just document interviews with people. So, uh, yeah, so all kinds of interesting, like not just the movie, but like stuff about some movies I like. So I didn't look this one up. It came to me was the filming locations of. See, I'm talking and clicking at the same time. Why can't I think of it? Planet of the Apes, the old one. So in that, like where it was filmed and stuff was neat because it was filmed around this lake in Arizona, and it's changed. The levels of the lake have changed and stuff. So it was interesting. And then that got me to watch some stuff. Oh, to try to find these channels that do this stuff sometimes do locations. So I was digging around looking for locations of, where Dawn was made, other movies and stuff. Anyway, so then turns out that Planet of the Apes was filmed in Malibu, or chunks of it were filmed in Malibu. I thought that was pretty cool. So now I want to go back to LA and dig in a little bit more to some of the movies and stuff. I still don't know what that San Fernando Valley is. Oh, wait a minute. Maybe I do. Maybe I don't. My business was in Burbank. I don't know where that is. Oh, is Burbank underneath of the Hollywood sign? Like under where Terminator came in? Saw Jay Leno driving to work. So Jay Leno, I've been watching. Well, I don't watch them, but they're trying to feed me a bunch of Jay Leno stuff, all this car stuff. Some of it's interesting looking, but I've only watched one thing. It was something about a car that had an engine in it from like an airplane from World War One. So I guess back in the olden days, if you wanted to make a hot rod, the ultimate hot rod was taking a airplane engine and sticking it in your car. So, World War One, that's where you get those kind of big front end looking cars. That's because there's an airplane engine up there. And then he drove around with some guy. He drove around in a car that was the engine out of a dirigible. Crazy. MASH filmed in Malibu, Rockford Files. Oh, don't even get me started on Rockford Files, dude. Let me see if I can bring it up over here without making too much trouble. So if I go over to Google, and then I got to go over to Google Maps. And then when I go to Google Maps, I got to go to something called like My Maps or somewhere. How do I get to them? Don't know how to get to them anymore. There's got to be a way to get to them. Your places, my maps. All right, so now we'll zoom out of there, bring this back over here, and then we'll go look at my Rockford Files map. So this is a map that is every single place that Rockford Files ever mentioned or went to or talked about in their show. Boom, there you go. And yes, most of it happened in LA. Is this San Fernando Valley? Then I know where San Fernando Valley is. I've driven around in there. Basically an expert at San Fernando Valley now. Almost. Yeah, this is where I go hang out in LA all the time. That's my favorite part right there. Anyway, that's what it looks like when you have too much time on your hands. That's back when I was doing computer repairs and shit. Does it tell you when this map was made? These are the seasons, I think, like season 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then this is one of the movies. So they didn't always talk about where they were, but whenever they said something, especially if they said a specific place, then I put it in here. I don't think it's going to tell me when I made that map, but it was probably in the early 2000s. I remember when. It was whenever I was still watching TV, and it was like a Rockford File marathon or something on, and I didn't have to. I ended up renting a bunch of them on DVD from like Blockbuster or whatever. I would get them back from back in the day, and then so I could see all the ones that I missed on the marathons. I think I watched the marathon for like a week. After a while, you see the same episode like 14 times, and I still enjoyed them. But I figured, hey, I'm gonna start making an effort to record these things. What was the audio engineer version of Rockford? Oh yeah. Hit up the original in Chinatown, best French dip sandwich and Austin mustard. Yeah, I don't think so. I don't like French dip. It was one of the reasons I quit eating that stuff. Burbank, home of NBC Skunkworks. Which Skunkworks? Is that the airplanes? I thought the airplanes came from north of LA, but I guess some of them had to come from LA. Shopped a few times at the store where he buys meat. Oh, that would be cool. See, that would be neat. If I knew that was a place, I'd probably go there. I've seen something else too. I forget what it was. Was it a show just about? I might have watched a whole show that was just about places that were filmed in LA or something like that. I don't know if I want to do this as a drawing or if I want to, do this as line tool. I think I like it like that. Drop it down in width and see what that looks like. Something like half. That's what I usually likes. I'll leave it like that. So now I gotta go into these 3 lines and erase some shit. Now that you mentioned that, I think you've said that you were in Malibu before, but I don't know how big Malibu is either. All I know about Malibu is, the beach that I go hang out at. I'm gonna get rid of this line too. Then. what to do with this. Bring it like this, maybe. I just delete it. Try another line. Okay. All right. Well, I always have big plans for this show, and then I usually fall asleep sometime in the afternoon. And then when I wake up, I'm like, should I do the show? I'll do the show. And then I lose all my plans for the show. And that's where we're at again tonight. So, as I finish up drawing this thing, I'll probably just close it up here. Nobody's joining in tonight. Nobody's joining it live, I should say. Some of y'all are chatting out there. Boom, boom, boom. I think that looks about right. Am I missing any lines? I think I got it all. So now I think I'm gonna probably should have done this if I was going to be drawing this all night. It's a generic run-of-the-mill supermarket, yeah, but it probably doesn't even have the same like meat counter anymore. Well, probably there's no way it has that same meat counter anymore. I don't know. You know what? I do see those occasionally at Walmart's where I forgot what they call that, where it's just like a big trough of cold or whatever. You dip stuff in there. Nah, it's because I've lost all sense of time and direction. I don't know if time is even going linear anymore. I mean, how many weeks have we been isolated now that we're on house arrest? I just don't even know. Just across the highway from beach. Oh, that's where you lived at? Right on. Well, yeah, that'd be pretty cool. It's probably pretty cheap to live there too, because of it's so close to the beach. Nobody wants to have their cars ruined by salt all the time. So that's another reason it'd probably be good to live there. I was a guitar player who messed with synthesizers. All right. Well, I am falling asleep again, but I'm not. I just have other work to do. So, we'll fill in some of this, I guess, and then we'll wrap it up. Oops, lock that one. Open that one. Put this to gray, I guess, and start drawing with that around here. Got quite a bit of stuff accomplished this weekend. How about everybody else? I had some plans last weekend. Those didn't fall through, going to go through, so I thought maybe they'd go through this weekend. They didn't. So that gave me plenty of time to go around and do other things. A little bit of gray. Put a little bit of gray over here. Probably kick out another quick series of videos again tonight real quick. Quick like. Dug into a couple of my tool bags, like things of tools that I've had around here forever that I finally took apart. And now they're going to be, well, they're not going to exist anymore, I guess. They're going to just be incorporated in the rest of my other tools. I made them videos just to play them on the gear channel. We'll see if anybody's interested in that kind of stuff. Now we got a trigger guard, and let's put some wood on this thing. HVS is talking about his gig out there a little bit, I think. He used to do what's the word? Is it not voiceovers, but is it voiceovers? Like translations for movies or whatever? Like you take a movie made in English and turn it into Spanish or French or something, from what I understand. I'll often do that, but I do it a different way. I use the closed caption button at the bottom of the remote, and then it just turn it to whatever channel or whatever language I feel like listening in. But you figured out a way to charge people money to do that for them. Guess we'll use that color. Oh, that lighter color. Ooh, I'm gonna go with that color. Dubbing. It's called dubbing. Thank you. Oh, and he was also very modest, it looks like. Okay, now I click on this and get that little darker color gray action going. Click. And do this on like this and this and this and this and this and this and this. I guess the problem is on Instagram is I had just looked at Instagram earlier today, and I probably had already looked at all the pictures that I thought about taking into cartoon. This one ended up being pretty cool. I don't think I've ever done a M1 carbine before. Again, assuming this isn't an M2. I don't like to rule that out, just in case. So today was also the, I guess you call it anniversary of. How am I doing this? I guess I'll do it like this. The anniversary of Jefferson being born, President of the United States. Yeah, I'll do this at all. So I'm just this, this, and then that whole shitty. Probably do a little bit under here, even though I didn't put a line, just so that it doesn't look weird missing it. This and zap that, and I'll put this in here. Just like that. All right, and what else am I missing? I will probably put a little bit of gray right here, just a touch of gray. And we can make that this color. And then I'll probably also put a little bit of that action right in here. And then let's make the little safety dealy. I'll leave a darker color. And we'll make that also a little darker color. Now we'll go down and make this actually hit the lines. It doesn't look like a person addicted to coffee made the whole thing. Boom. And let's put a little bit more of this gray up here. It comes to this area and in that notch. and then gray up here. I left this open just for such a thing. And same up here. Turn that into that. Pull these things out a little bit. Should I do the top handguard a little bit different color? I might. I'm thinking about it. I'm going to do it in this way. I'm going to just take that eraser, turn it into a knife, and just freaking cut it along this line. I don't have to color nothing. I just had to draw that one line, and then I can just take this thing just barely a notch darker, just so that it don't look like the same piece of wood. I've never seen too many of them look like the same piece of wood. And I think I will then take that same color and go in here and do something like this. Because I can. And yeah, that's about it. Is that color? Let's make sure that it is by doing that. Okay, it is. So let's see. Next, I just have the strap. Ooh, there's somebody hot riding around out there. I wonder if you could hear that. It sounded like a truck hauling ass. It's only like 10 o'clock here. It's 10:30 here. So yeah, everybody I invited from, actually almost everybody I invited was on the Pacific time zone. So everybody's like, 10 o'clock's too late for me to go on in line. I don't want to talk to him. Those people. All right, boom. And then we'll go over here and drop it down underneath most stuff. That works. And then we'll grab it and make it this color. That was a pretty good pick. I'm leaving it right there. Boom. And then I still need to go in here and get a magazine all the way out, right? Dang, that's a cool color green right there I just found. We'll take that and turn it that color. Then why don't we go like this and 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 this. Boom. And for some reason I want to take that hair lighter. Just exactly one hair lighter too. And I think I'm gonna also, since I'm putting all this extra attention into shading, I'm gonna this. And maybe like this or something. Then take that and make it this, but then make it just a little bit darker. All right, so there we go. Boom. So let's see. I'm going to save it first. I'm going to put this. I'll put it there, I guess. So now I've saved the file that the Adobe Illustrator file that it lives in, or that I created it in. Should quit stirring my coffee. I went to take a big gulp of coffee the other day, and there was a dead mosquito on the top of it. So the last thing I want to do now is like stir up my coffee right before I drink it. All right, so now I'm going to take this and export the image so that it's not just a machine file, but instead a useful file. I'll just stick it right there, I guess, and I'll call this, I think this was 38 Super Partisans gun, so I'm just going to type in M1 carbine for now. I'll probably edit it to the person as well, so if I ever have to look for it, I can find it easier. I think I'm going to also do 002 right in the front there. So now it's got a name that gives me a chance to keep building these things. So now I can hit export, and that's a JPEG version of this. And then I can, let's see, drop this. And I'll do a JPEG version of that. So that was that first kind of weird thing. And now I'll click it and do. Okay, and then I will get rid of that one completely. Save this one like this. Export as, and call that 3. Okay, and then I will take this thing's opacity back up so that it just looks like it's sitting on a log. I don't really like that at all, but I'm going to save it anyway. Export that as 4. And then get rid of the background completely. And save that as 5. And then export it as, leave it at 5, but then switch it to PNG. And now it's that same file, but with a transparent background for whoever wants to use it for whatever. So now we've got a cool looking M2 with a sling and a mag in it, and use that for other stuff. I could then highlight this, group it, and oops, actually, don't group it, just highlight it, lock that, go to this layer, get rid of these 2 layers, call this full, and then drop it. Okay, drop the wrong thing. So go back over here, open these, highlight the whole thing, copy, lock them, hide them, unlock, paste, group. Then right now it's a bunch of mathematical equations. So we're going to kind of make it into an expanded appearance. So it's going to be a little bit different type of equations now. And once I do that twice, that will allow me to now grab this thing and make it however big and small I want, and everything's going to stay in the same proportions. Boom. So now I can just save this whole thing, and I've got a nice little M1 carbine that I can use whenever I need an M1 carbine pointed in that direction. All right, so that was our show tonight. 9 people were joining us. looks like barely 3 said anything. So Snob, HVS, well, Justin and Juice. So HVS is heading out. It's like 3 in the afternoon in Hawaii. So have a good afternoon. And we'll be back to pick you up later. Thanks for joining in. Next time, say something, and then we'll know you're out there.